Thank you. This is a topic that we all know a lot about. So we're going to start from the very beginning. What is the first thing you do before you enter a client's home? The very first thing, and it's on that 100-question skills test that we give. So Taisha might remember it more than some of the others of you that haven't been here for so long. But you don't knock on the door, you don't wash your hands, you don't introduce yourself. What do you do that has a lot to do with home safety before you enter a client's home for the first time?
And they email it to you.
Safety.
Read your plan of care.
Okay, so thank you, Sam. Okay, so what would that have to do with home safety? On the back of the plan of care, there's a part for special instructions. There's a part for animals. So in other words, if there are 2 dogs that need to be secured in the basement or out back, it's important for you to know that before you enter the home. So that is definitely a safety factor. Now the next thing is you're at the front door. There can be other things you can observe there. The time I broke my leg was leaving a client's home, January 28th, it was dark, 6:30 at night. And the owner of the home had broken cement at the bottom of the step, but she had covered it with a black rubber mat. So in daytime, I might have realized the irregularity, but at night I didn't, and I went over it. So obviously then I didn't want anyone else on my team going to that home, and she was not able to afford to do the repair, but I removed the black mat so that everyone could see the broken cement. But then we were able to use her back door in order to help her father. So your observations right from the beginning are very important. If there aren't any railings, or the railings are really wobbly, or there are obstructions in getting in the porch or in the front door. Now when Kim and I do our original assessment, we might see it, but it might be something that wasn't there when we came to meet the family. Sometimes families put their best foot forward, as you know, when they want the care. So maybe after the plan of care is written, and I hear some laughter here, maybe there are some additions. And please contact us right away. Let us know, so that we can see if we can work with the family, or we can see whether there's another entrance. So that's obviously home safety. Now once we get through the door, let's take a room at a time. What can be concerns in a living room?
Trash, litter.
Litter? Absolutely. Some people are hoarders. Stacks of newspapers or magazines. What else?
Sometimes electric wires.
Absolutely.
Carpets, old carpets
Yes.
that are
Curled.
Yep.
Too many throw rugs on top of carpets,
Yep.
because everybody thinks that will keep the carpet nice. So what else could be maybe a problem in a living room?
Sofas, sofa.
Some of the chairs being too low. We mentioned electricity because I do remember one case where there was actual wires on top of the carpet. They were trying to get away with too much. Power strips are one thing, but they do need to be handled correctly. I'm thinking of lighting, because remember, we can be vulnerable too. You know, it's not just a concern for the patient. Okay, let's take it to the kitchen, because that's a biggie. I think probably in almost all your cases, you're in the kitchen to some degree. So, what are your ideas about that room?
Much stuff on the counter
Yeah? You have not a clear working area.
at all.
What else?
Dirty dishes.
You know?
Well, dirty dishes, when we say safety, that's in the idea of that they attract mice
Well, yes, and flies.
and flies. Yeah, true.
Not just mice and fly. I was like,
Okay, let's think of some other things.
the refrigerator. Yes. Like we have it.
Okay, that's getting to
Trash.
food safety. Trash can be a problem. What are other things about a kitchen?
Sometimes, sometimes the stove, yeah,
Don't have it.
older, hot older.
Because if you're preparing food, guess what? Even out of a microwave, you know, it can be hot
Oh,
and
yeah.
you can get burnt. What else what we might think of in a kitchen? If they aren't properly kept and something can happen accidentally with knives. And most of our people don't do ovens anymore. And we don't do a lot of stove cooking. We do have Meals on Wheels, Mom's Meals. But what do we usually do to heat things up?
I do it sometime on the stove.
Sometimes you do on the
Sometimes
stove,
microwave.
and it's a big thing with microwave.
Microwave.
So what's the issue
Dishes,
about cooking in a microwave? What's the home safety issue?
You have to be covered.
Covered it.
Otherwise-
Microwave safe dishes.
Aluminum.
Exactly.
Aluminum.
So can we use styrofoam?
No.
No.
Can we use anything with metal?
Nope.
No.
Okay. Do we have to be very careful about plastics?
Yes.
Because they have to be certified
But they won't
microwavable.
melt. They won't melt.
I do get that chicken breast from Giant, and I know people sometimes get the rotisserie chickens from Giant. If you read those containers that they come in,
Oh, they're not microwave safe.
they are, but they tell you only for reheat. In other words, minimal, not extensive, not too hot. So we do have a responsibility because many of our patients can't see well. So if you see that they don't have proper cookware, we have a lot of excellent thrift stores. So the fact of the matter is that, you know, I would like to know, because there is a possibility that we could get them something in the size that they usually use. We have Holy Redeemer Thrift on County Line. We have New Life Thrift on Eastern Road. And generally speaking, you are gonna find Corningware, because there are newer, fancier patterns on the market and all. But that's a good, basic, safe cookware. But if they don't have pot holders, I've been noticing more of these silicone,
Oh my goodness.
and they're very reasonable. So the fact of the matter is, you know,
Look at my hand. Too big.
well,
They have different sizes.
Charmaine, they do have different sizes. They do, they do. Is that what you want for Christmas?
No. I got the one that you put two of your hands in.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
Yes.
go around.
No, that's very sensible. But we do have an obligation because people are elderly. Does not mean they've got sons and daughters that live nearby that are helpful. So it is our role, because we're long-term, to try to help as much as possible so that they don't get burned. We had a 96-year-old poet in Hatboro, And I was there one night at dinner. We used to go in 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening, and Pam is shaking her head because she remembers who it is. And I watched Ed put like a stoffer dinner in his oven to heat it up for dinner. And he had not removed the saran. It isn't even saran. It's just that plastic covering that you're always supposed to remove. And his hands were badly swollen. He had rheumatoid arthritis. So even the idea of him cooking it in his oven and then trying to get it out. So again, it's what you're observing. You know, what are they doing and how can we intervene and prevent them from getting a bad burn or prevent ourselves? Okay, so we've moved from the living room, and a lot of our people's studio apartments, but that's really their living room. You know, they want to have as normal a life as possible, so most of our people are not bedridden. So we've done the living room, we've done the kitchen. What about the bathroom?
Oh, God. How about walking out in your clothes and leave stuff in the middle? That's a safety hazard.
Yes,
Wet floor.
wet, objects in the way.
Objects in the shower, remember that case we had? Yeah,
We had one case where the bathtub was totally full of stuff.
yeah.
But we were supposed to give personal care. What else about a bathroom?
Toilet.
Be in everywhere.
Well, feces, absolutely, major problems, so cleaning properly. I'm thinking of hair dryers near the sink, electrical things. We have a lot more electrical things like toothbrushes that are recharged, shaving, they're electric shavers that are being recharged. So that's something definitely that we need to observe. What are they doing? How are they storing these things? How are they using them? Okay, bathroom,
Bedroom. Can we go to the bedroom?
okay.
And chairs, we need them something.
You do the bedroom.
Go ahead, Irene. Do the bedroom.
A bedroom, no, I think no, because in the shower, you need chair many times, or mat.
Sure, we can go back to the bathroom. And the
Yeah,
fact
Bob.
is, the shower chair is going to definitely, we do not do tub baths, and
Oh,
Mat.
mat. Some of them don't have any mat.
Some apartment buildings don't allow
Yeah.
them to have the mats
They
because
don't?
No.
the
I'm gonna be dust.
well that and the sticky, the suction cups leave a mark and they don't, the landlords don't want it on there.
I use a towel.
So,
Towel?
Very
I don't
unfortunate.
know.
these don't have the suction.
Okay.
And that's the thing, you can look for
Yeah.
ones that are easier to clean.
okay.
They're less likely to be moldy.
No, I don't know.
But I use
Okay.
the mat. It's not safe. for
It's
them.
not safe, but some newer tubs now are built with that drain on the bottom.
Yeah, I still don't do it that much.
No, they still need
Yeah, we
extra.
still don't do that much.
Okay, now we're gonna look at specific things,
Okay.
like people with oxygen. So, home safety with oxygen. Give me one point about that. Aminata?
No smoke.
Exactly. Exactly.
Some of them
And
still-
how many people try to cheat?
A lot.
No, we don't.
Okay, so besides smoking, what else can be an issue with oxygen?
The cars. The car, sometimes they have too much, the car
Yes,
is too
the
long.
cord, absolutely
Oh, yes.
positively. You know, they can trip over it, somebody else can, one of us can.
And sometimes it's, it's not on the right amount of oxygen that they get, do you know that?
Yes, or they crank it up too high.
Exactly.
Or too
And
low.
that can even be especially at this time of the year when holiday time people like to use candles.
Yes.
So, you know, to say, heads up. Let's pass this around because this is lists of some other things that we can pay attention to with home safety.
See,
So one of the things with the kitchen is my little couple that live in Crestmont. Because the wife is 90, the husband is 98, but she likes to still cook. So Pam and Audrey were witness to her things on the stove in the pot more than overcooked. So the potential there for a fire was really great. And sometimes you have a hard time breaking people's habits. It's their home, and we're not live-ins, so we try the best we can. And there's something else about homes we don't always think about. We know smoke alarms are very, very important, but I believe in Abington, they also have some criteria for monoxide,
Yes.
carbon monoxide. I know in some parts of Pennsylvania, it's more of an issue, but any home, especially older homes, this could be a problem. Fire extinguishers have to be used properly, and they have to be not outdated. So it's something else you can do by checking what they have. Now, if they're in their 90s, they might not at all be able to use a fire extinguisher. The most important thing is calling 911. Anytime that smoke is smelled, you know, yes, press their medical alert right. But in your own homes, I would definitely recommend that you have one of the newer that is combination, good for any kind, especially in the kitchen, where you could maybe act quickly and minimize something. Now, this is winter time, and we do need to think about what our patients have. And by all means, check their flashlights. Make sure that if they need new batteries, and now there are really lovely little lanterns at Walmart,
yes, yes.
and they're reasonable,
I got mine at Costco.
okay? So I would really say for your own homes, in your own cars, you're traveling at night, that these are things that you want to be prepared for, and they can be a real plus in home safety for our clients. And we're not doing driving in cars today, but I thought to myself, with that situation I had so many years ago, where the broken cement was out front, again, at night, you would have a hard time seeing that. And I'm thinking that these cones, you can buy these cones at Lowe's, Walmart, and the smaller ones are reasonable. But the fact of the matter is that at night, they would show up. And these that you get at Walmart, the ground-based triangles, they're $8.
Oh,
And they might be well worth having one of these around, because sometimes the obstruction of the problem is temporary. It's not something that is routine. But if it would alert everybody so that they don't step in that area or use those steps, it would be helpful.
I work with a flashlight. I
Excellent.
feel like I was on a flashlight.
That's excellent. Okay, so I had gotten these at the dollar store. Pam remembers, we had it for our client, and the son refused to use it. So, we can try, Doesn't always work.
That's true.
If we're leaving water for a client or a hot beverage, cocoa, coffee, tea, again, Walmart, and they're reasonable. Something with a handle, and you can ask them, is it okay if I put this on your shopping list? If your plan of care says shopping and errands, these are things you can do. Some people are close enough to a Walmart that they food shop there. They'll send you there to get their food. Other people, if it's something special, yes, we pay the gas and the mileage. But if it's something special that really would be good for them to have, they need to pay for it. But again, that could be an errand that would be justified. One other thing about home safety
Pill case.
has to do with,
The pill case. Oh, the pill.
has to do with medication. Yeah. If you see that the client isn't taking their medicines correctly, if you see that all the medicines are left out on the kitchen counter for both the husband and the wife, and they're getting confused, they can't see the names, they're not marked in any way, so definitely home safety can involve medication. Should they be stored in a better way? Can we get the son or the daughter involved? You know, what would be appropriate? Currently, in the state of Pennsylvania, we're not allowed to fill medication planners. But absolutely, if it's on your plan of care as medication reminders, and you were there at lunchtime, then very definitely, not only do you open the Tuesday lunch, but that you watch them take the medication. Because it certainly isn't gonna help if it's dropped on the floor. So I like to encourage people to do that.
So how about
Sometimes they hide it.
how about opening it and put it in the container and give it to them?
That's fine.
Oh,
That's absolutely fine.
if they should
As
have-
long as the son or the daughter or the neighbor or the friend has legally filled it. And if they say to you they're clear of mind and they have a headache and they want you to bring the Advil from the kitchen, you can bring the Advil from the kitchen and then you show it to them and have them repeat that this is the correct bottle. Because Advil can come in different strengths, Tylenol can come in different strengths, and then they have to take it out of the bottle. But you can give them water to drink, and if someone's clear of mind but they're immobile, we take care of people, and the reason we take care of them is because they can hardly walk from A to Z. But it doesn't mean, we had a sister in the convent, she was 100, and I thought she could still teach chemistry. So it's not always a matter of clarity of mind, but that we can be helpful under certain criteria. We still are defined as custodial. So if that changes through the years, fine, we'll alert you. Is there anything else that you can think of about home safety? I can think of one other thing, and that is transferring your patients. At the convent, we had a sister on the floor of her bedroom because it was not our responsibility. At that time, there was not a direct care worker assigned to her, but the staff had allowed her to try to get up without her shoes on. So of course she slipped. So I would definitely say we are involved in transfers. So we don't do full body transfers, but assist in an intelligent way and make sure you're putting the shoes on securely, without laces untied, and so when they stand, they have a firm, there's a firm situation at the base of their feet. Anything else? Yes?
That's a good point, Claudia, because I hear this a lot from workers. And I tell them, if it says two-person assist on that plan of care, do not transfer that person unless someone in the home is helping you. So we've had clients say, oh honey, you can do that. Just say, I'm not permitted to, very politely, and you wait until that member of the home is there to help you assist. because we have had people that are two-person assist. That means the daughter or somebody in the home should be helping you. And we've had cases where they felt that, oh, some of the aides can do it, well, it's not safe for anybody. So we just pay attention to that. When you see a two-person assist, do not, and you don't have to fight with them, you simply politely say, I'm not permitted to transfer your mother until someone is assisting me.
And I think also along with that is, once in a blue moon, we come across a transfer board. The most important thing about assisting anyone with a transfer board is that you see it on your plan of care, and that the patient client has upper arm strength. They are supposed to be able to use their trapeze. They are supposed to be able to reach across to the wheelchair. And they must always have clothes on. No skin, no powder on the transfer board. And some of the transfer boards are very expensive now. They're called Beezy boards and they're $250. But if that is not on your plan of care, and they're getting so weak with their multiple sclerosis, and you've never done it before, please just say you need to come into the office, you need to contact your nursing supervisor, that we discuss this ahead of time. Because sometimes there's been a physical therapist in the case, and she's trained it, but she didn't train us. She trained the son, she trained the daughter-in-law, she trained a Medicare home health aide. So that's not helping us. Both Kim and I, we need to know it is safe, we need to have some order on it, and then we need to put it on the plan of care. So, yes, Sam?
Yeah, I'd like that too. Please report. Oftentimes the nurses go out when we do a home, not only a client assessment, but a home safety assessment when they open the case. But sometimes not everything is prevalent right at that moment. We learn things as time goes on, or something else is introduced into the house, or situations change, so please report it to the nurses so that we can update the plan of cares and let everyone know. Yeah, just don't sit there and struggle with it. I mean, actually, please report it. Another thing about home safety, that's become, we've been blessed with this, but it seems to be rising in our culture. If you're walking into an unsafe environment, and it's not usually the patient, it could be a drug addict's son, or it could be something else, some outside force that's coming on and making you feel unsafe, or feel the client's unsafe. Please remove yourself, don't abandon the client, but remove yourself from the home, call the office, and let us know what's going on. We can call 911 if there's something in the house that's in danger to the client, or we can tell you then to leave and we can document that. So we just can't leave a client without us documenting it. So please just don't leave. Get yourself into a safe situation, call us immediately. We had a situation where a very experienced aide was here, and the son was bipolar and would throw objects across the room sometimes. And it was getting a little dangerous, and he would scare the mother, but the mother didn't want to be taken from the home, so she said, oh, it's okay. But the aide just got missed a couple times. So it was very important for them to report that to us. We reported it to Protective Services, and something actually came of it. So if you're seeing any kind of violence or something introduced into a home, make sure you report that to us too.
Okay. I think it's time to check the basket.
Oh.
Oh,